Hello, North Central Washington, and welcome to Networked. I'm your host, Jenny Rojanasatian, Executive Director of NCW Tech Alliance. I'm here today to introduce you to a pair of creative maestros who are instrumental in shaping compelling brand identities and elevating digital presence in our local community. Today's episodes, we're going to be exploring the world of design and multimedia creation with two extraordinary local business owners. First up, we have Elena Payne, the principal and owner of Awdience, a boutique creative agency based right here in the Wenatchee Valley. With almost 2 decades of experience, Elena brings to the table a really unique approach to design that's centered around the idea that it should not only delight, but also inform and motivate. Known for her skill in crafting compelling brand identities with a focus on strategy and sustainability, she's a dedicated mentor, collaborator, and she thrives in the diverse creative landscape of our valley, working closely with other professionals and nurturing the next generation of creatives, as she also serves as a graphic design instructor at Wenatchee Valley College. Elena will share some insights on her journey, design philosophies, and the importance of a branding strategy right at the start. She uses this as a North Star for businesses, and you're going to learn more in the segment ahead. Then we're going to shift gears from Elena over to video production with Hector Laurel. He's the owner of Terminal Ave Media. As a Wenatchee native, Hector's passion for filmmaking sparked at the age of 11 as he was making skateboarding videos with his friends. That passion turned into a profession, and now he helps local business owners elevate their social presence through engaging multimedia content. From casual skateboarding videos into a real professional, Hector's journey is a testament to the power of really turning a passion into a career. And we'll dive into how he's leveraged the skill to help local businesses share their story. Stay tuned as we unpack these two entrepreneurial stories right here on the NCW Life channel. Don't go far. And welcome to the first half of Network TV. Really excited to introduce my first guest, Elena Payne, principal and owner of Awdience, and a business member of NCW Tech Alliance. Thanks for coming on air with me.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, really excited to share with the community a little bit about your story and your work in the community. But maybe we'll start a little bit briefly with a little introduction to you and your background.
Yeah, well, professional background. I went to Western Washington University, and coming out of college became over to North Central Washington, to Wenatchee, and didn't kind of know what to expect, but my husband and I established design careers. We're both designers, and I worked for a small creative agency here, and then a desire to craft our own path led us to starting Awdience, and from there, long story short, I got involved with the advisory committee for the college's design program, and through that I became a teacher as well. So now I run Awdience, and I teach, and that's kind of the very quick and dirty
highlight.
It is. Yeah.
Design is such a big topic.
It's huge.
Right? I mean, and it's in every part of our lives, right? The clothes we wear, the brands we see in business. Tell me a little bit about what Awdience does.
Awdience is a full-service creative studio. Okay. So I offer graphic design services kind of first and foremost, but also because of the nature of graphic design and graphic design process, there's some a little bit of brand strategy in there, a little bit of communications in a broader perspective that happens, a lot of creative direction and art direction as well. So I'm a bit of a jack of all trades. My main kind of like favorite projects are brand identity, because it really sets people up for more and sets the tone for the future of a business. So
let's dive into brand identity, because I don't think entrepreneurs often think about that when they get started. They think about a logo. I need like a business plan, a logo, my product, and I'm going. Why would you encourage an entrepreneur or any business to think about having a brand strategy? Why? You know, you talked about that setting you up for success. What does that look like?
Yeah, so a branding strategy, branding guidelines, brand strategy, that is your North Star. That encapsulates kind of the pillars that define your brand. So when we think of that, it might be your mission and vision statements and your core values, your brand essence, and like keywords that define who you are. So there's those sorts of things that kind of come out of that. There's established direction on what your voice might be, how you write, how you set up, say, headlines that you might use. That could be in social media or in your print collateral or on your website, and how you sound in all of these touch points. But then the part where I'm much more heavily involved would be like a style guide. So that's defining your how you use your logo, what your fonts are and how they're used, what your color palette is, and what the hierarchy of that is, and even down to suggested ideas on how to do layouts and how to style your photography. So it's this North Star that is both crafted as and a deliverable and a service, but then it also becomes this tool that whoever is working for you, be it a vendor, be it in-house, can utilize to guide consistency and help to build continuity through all of the pieces and parts of your business.
And I think that's so important when you said the word your voice. Like, who do you want to be out to the public, whether you're a business or a nonprofit? I mean, those things are what champion people around you, whether that's providing services or nonprofit programs. And I think so often we just get into the work and you're so fast that you don't think about that. So you might be inconsistent in what's going on. Tell me a little bit, what makes your approach to working with clients unique?
I would say that an honoring and a continued follow through on good design process. I think we all hear this word of like design thinking, which that's a whole nother thing, but it's based in how graphic designers approach projects. So it's having the empathy to understand both the client, but then also to really look at like what that target audience is, and then come up with ideas as to how to connect and have an iterative process and a process based in research that develops really unique and unique ideas, yet very relatable, and can set you apart in a way that maybe just kind of off the cuff graphic work that you don't necessarily put much thought into. So
that's what came top of mind as you were talking, as I was just thinking, again, going back to the like, well, I need a logo. Here's the things I like in a logo, and let's go. And it's much more thoughtful and strategic and long-term, working with Awdience on the future ahead. You work with both new companies and existing companies as well, right? Yeah. And ones that maybe need to do a refresh. What are some advice you might have for mature companies who are looking to evolve in terms of brand?
Yeah, I think one of the best outcomes that I've seen is when a project is approached by getting communications people, marketing and design in from the get-go, so that a strategy starts to form in the sense that people are at the table coming together, producing an idea and coming up with like a design strategy or a whole strategy for whatever that project is. Yeah. So I think that having more minds kind of massaging and crafting what that looks like is a really cool way to go.
That's a great tip, I think, because often you just go to like your marketing department and say like, do this, but you're going to need your communications team, probably your sales team, those who are on the ground with people to have provide input. Otherwise, it's not going to feel cohesive.
Yeah.
Tell me, we talked about branding guidelines and tips. I'd love to hear a little bit about your clients in terms of you're in North Central Washington. Are you just regional? Are you working with people outside of the area?
It's been both. Okay. Mostly local though. Yeah.
Mostly local. Where do people connect in with you if they're looking at needing branding services or design services?
I have a website, awdience.com, AWDIENCE.com. I have a very basic social media account, the Instagram. Yeah, shows how much I'm But I do post, I'm there. Yeah. I work on more of kind of the person-to-person connection. I try and do networking events and that sort of thing. So it's a work in progress for me, of course. Yeah.
Right. Well, final kind of question for you. I didn't dive into it. You worked in agencies and then started your own company. Any advice you have for entrepreneurs who are listening today just about that, going from maybe an in-house position in a company to building their own dream? Yeah.
Oh,
it's a big question.
It's a really big question. Yeah. I would say that finding people to connect with, to talk to, and also I think that it's about just dogged work. I don't know. Yeah. Other than that, and learning and being curious and finding out as much as you can and understanding your strengths and your weaknesses. And it's such a big question, and I think you could break it down into many different parts. But I think getting help and your strengths and your weaknesses.
I think those are great advice. And being curious is good too. Plus, sometimes people go into entrepreneurship because they say, I know this really well. Yeah. So I can do it. Yeah. And you have to really be curious and ask a lot of questions, knowing yourself, but knowing kind of that humility that there's a lot to learn and grow.
Yeah. Honesty with yourself.
Yeah. Really important. Well, this has been so fun. So quick. We're already up on the segment, but don't come to a Tech Alliance event, meet with Elena, and check her company out, Awdience, online.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to Network TV. It was so fun to have Elena Payne with Awdience on air. Incredible advice on branding. We're going to kind of switch gears, talk to another entrepreneur, kind of in the same vein. I am here with Hector Laurel of Terminal Ave Media, who does some incredible production work for companies across town. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're really excited to have the community learn a little bit about you and your story. So maybe let's start there. Tell me a little bit about growing up doing videos and your story before you got to entrepreneurship.
Yeah, so pretty much I got into skateboarding when I was 10, 11. And with skateboarding, you have to film everything. Like it's like snowboarding, skiing. Like if you're doing tricks, you want to film them. Yeah. So I just started filming everything without even thinking about doing this in the future. It was just like natural.
Just like a hobby, fun. Yes. Trying to improve.
Yeah, seeing like the new trick that I learned, just recording every process of it. I even have like videos of me and my brother in our garage when we had like a JVC, like really, really old camera, and I would put it on there and me and him would just like ride our skateboards. Yeah. Before we could do any tricks.
Right. Yeah. So just had an affinity for recording early on. Yeah. Let's talk about how that's transitioned now into you're growing a business out of it.
Yeah. So Terminal Ave is pretty much the street where I grew up skateboarding on, and that's like where the name comes from. Okay. And that's also the street where the elementary school is on, where I went to school. So that's like the parking lot where I started skateboarding in. So the name kind of just made sense of I got introduced to cameras and videos through skateboarding. So that's kind of how I started the Terminal Ave Media. Yeah. And yeah, from there, I've just been working with companies here and kind of taking what I learned from, using cameras as a kid, and then, I'm still learning a lot, so.
I'm sure it's a constant evolution as the technology grows, what we can do with it.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about Terminal Ave Media. What does your company do? And tell me a little bit about the team.
So we do short commercials. I've done podcast production. Right now, we're still growing, so we're doing like a little bit of everything and still finding like our niche. My most favorite thing to do is the fun, cute little 30-second ads, like the Boba Lab one that you were talking about. And just really trying to show a business, not for like their product, but kind of like the lifestyle that goes along with that. I don't really know how to explain it too good, but
that weaves really what we were talking with Elena about. It's like, what is your voice? Yeah. What's your identity? What's the culture? That goes through our marketing too, right?
So just showing that other side.
You create a variety of content though, from branded videos to corporate projects and podcasts. I know you said you're still kind of working on the niche. Tell me a little bit about your clients. Who are the type of companies that you're working with?
Right now, like small local businesses here, like Boba Lab, and then people that are trying to get into podcasts. I'm helping out 2 clients right now with just with the production of the podcast, and then getting into, I've done like some real estate stuff on the side just for a couple agents that I know. So that's kind of like what I've been doing as far as like who I've been working with.
Tell me a little bit about the podcast process. Podcasts have grown in popularity so much over the years. It seems like a lot of celebrities have podcasts. It drives, you could learn a lot of different information. Entertainments are done through podcasts. Why is that a good avenue for businesses?
So I feel like right now everybody wants a podcast.
Okay. Yes.
Like you can just sit down, like you're already talking, so you might as well just like record it, kind of like we're doing right now.
Right.
So I just got the idea of if I can just show up somewhere with all my gear, click record. They don't have to worry about microphones, audio, lighting, nothing. They just show up, sit down, have their conversation, and then I'll provide like the episode. And if they want, we could also cut down those little clips so then they can share on social media and say like, hey, check out this little clip, but then the link to the full episode. So I think it's something that a lot of people want to do, but they just don't want to look into like the camera gear and as far as the video podcast goes.
Well, because that's expensive, right? So a lot of companies don't have an in-house
podcast
video, podcast studio or marketing. So you come mobile to business locations and help them develop that. Tell me a little bit, you mentioned social clips. Do you also help companies with their social media, or are you just like the content creator and then they run it? What does that look like?
Right now, I'm more the content creator.
Okay.
I worked with companies where they have like a marketing team, and that's probably the best because I can just focus on the content and then they know exactly where they're gonna publish it and how they're gonna like roll it out. Maybe later on I'll offer that, but right now I'm just focused on still growing just the video content part of it.
Sounds like a smart move.
Yeah, because I think that's just marketing is a whole different thing.
Tell me why you think a little bit about, obviously we're on video today. Why is video an important media for companies to invest in?
I think it just shows personality. If I want to go, let's say, to a massage place, but I don't even know who works there and I'm like intimidated. But if I can just see like the face, see their personality, I'm more, I think, inclined to just show up and just be more comfortable. So just showing the business owner and then showing like the lifestyle and just so people feel more comfortable, I feel like, and it grows their company too, just putting your name out there. Like if I'm going to buy, let's say, a house and I follow 2 real estate agents on Instagram, but there's one that's posting videos every day. Like the day that I want to buy a house, I'm going to think about that person just subconsciously. I'm not going to think like, who should I message from these 2? I'm going to just go to the person that just comes to my mind. And just like little things like that, I think help out.
That's a really smart reminder that when we're marketing, it's not just for current customer right now, but you're like planting those seeds for the future. To your point of like, even if you're not actively looking for a house, you're going to remember that person for the years ahead. Tell me, what's your process to ensure the content is successful for the client? Like what does that look like when you're setting down, whether it's a podcast or traditional filming?
I think it's having like the main goal in mind, like in the back of your head, but also having fun along the way, because I don't think video should be too like intimidating. Like if I'm going to show up to your business, I don't want you to be like, oh, I have to film this. So just making sure we have fun, but also keeping in mind the main goal of what you're trying to sell to the clients.
I think people get intimidated by film too, right?
Yeah.
They get kind of worried. So tell me how you bring, your fun-loving, friendly culture into that process.
So we just like to have fun. When we're making videos,
Yes.
It's not too serious.
Right.
As long as we're doing, the job.
Right.
I think we like to have fun with the clients and make them feel like they're our friends, instead of, oh, we're just a production company that's gonna come make a video. But more like, let's hang out and like make content together.
Yeah. How do you help companies who maybe, while you're having fun and having conversations, who don't know what direction they want to take? Like they know they need to get into video space, or they know they need a commercial.
Yeah.
Do you help with a creative strategy too? Like take Boba Lab. I love those commercials, by the way. They're really fun.
Yeah, so we try to figure out what they need as far as like take a look at their social. Maybe they want just like little short form clips, but a lot of companies do a good job on that. So for people like Boba Lab, they do great on posting every day, like little Instagram reels and TikToks and stuff like that. So when we came in, it's like, let's do something that is gonna make you laugh, not show the drink, but something that's gonna make you laugh and want to come in the next time, and they're playing in the movie theater, so you just see it and you're like, oh, it's right across the street, or one of them is right across the street. So really just like trying to get that across.
I'm thinking about that commercial in particular, and if people haven't seen it, they should go check it out because it's pretty fun. About like she was like a scientist, like creating the boba, and like, you're right, it wasn't a storytelling of just like here's our store and here's the drink.
Because people know that already. They know it's boba tea, and they know. So we want to show that like if we can make someone laugh, they're more inclined to show up than just look at these drinks, come buy your drinks, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's the great strategy. How are you accepting new clients across the region or abroad? How do people connect in with Terminal Ave Media?
So right now, I would say the easiest is through the website.
Okay.
That way they can check out our work and see if we're like a good fit for them. And I feel like word of mouth helps a lot too. So just working with companies here, another company sees it, they want something similar. And then from there, we'll have like a little consultation to see what we could do that would benefit everybody, and just how we can help out, really.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Hector, thank you so much for coming on air.
Thank you.
We didn't mean to make it a Boba Lab commercial, but it kind of is. So you should go get some boba, right? After watching this episode. It's been so fun to have you on air, and thank you again to our audience for joining us here on the NCW Life channel. We'll be back here in the studio next week.